The mood at Anfield has shifted from disappointment to genuine concern, because what started as a painful Champions League exit could now spiral into something far more devastating for Liverpool. Let's break this down in today's video. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. During that 2-0 defeat to Paris Saint-Germain, all eyes weren't just on the result, but on one moment that stopped everything. Hugo Ekitike collapsing off the ball. No challenge, no contact, just sudden pain, and immediately you could sense it wasn't good. The stretcher came out, the stadium fell silent, and now the worst fears are beginning to surface. This isn't just an injury update, this could be a career-defining setback. Initial reports suggest Ekitike is undergoing further testing at Liverpool's AXA training centre, but behind the scenes there is growing fear of a ruptured Achilles, one of the most serious injuries a footballer can suffer. If confirmed, we're not talking weeks, or even months in the short term. We're talking about a timeline that could stretch into 2027. That's the reality of an Achilles rupture. Recovery alone can take 9 months or more, but regaining sharpness, confidence, and explosive movement at the elite level, that's an entirely different battle. Just look at what happened to Presnel Kimpembe, Ekitike's former PSG teammate, who spent nearly 2 years fighting his way back after a similar injury. That's the precedent. That's the warning sign. And right now, nothing has been officially confirmed, but the noise is getting louder. French outlet L'Equipe has already reported the rupture as fact, although those claims are still being treated with caution. Until the scans are complete, Liverpool are holding on to hope, but it's fading fast. After the match, manager Arne Slot didn't sugarcoat the situation either. His words told you everything you needed to know. It doesn't look good. That's not just a manager protecting his player. That's a manager preparing for the worst. And the timing couldn't be more brutal. Ekitike was beginning to build momentum, carving out a role in this Liverpool side at a crucial stage of the season. Now, not only is his club campaign in doubt, but his international future has taken a massive hit too. The World Cup, almost certainly gone. France teammate Ibrahima Konate summed it up best. Not with analysis, but emotion, concern, uncertainty, support. Because everyone in football knows what this kind of injury means. Liverpool now face a huge question. How do they move forward without him? And, more importantly, when, or if, will we see Hugo Ekitike back at his best again? Right now, all eyes are on those medical results, because if the fears are confirmed, this isn't just the end of a season, it could be the start of a very long road back. In this section of the video, we will go over our 5 biggest takeaways from our 2-0 defeat to PSG. It was a gallant effort from Liverpool, but in the end, another case of not being good enough to beat Paris Saint-Germain, which will lead to questions being asked. Number 1. No game changers. It's often been the case with Liverpool that you feel anything is possible on a European night at Anfield. It was famously against Barcelona, with an even bigger hill to climb than this one. The players, the team, and the atmosphere combined, it felt like they could overturn any deficit. While there was still hope ahead of this game, and there needed to be expectation for everyone to go into it with the right mindset, it was more difficult to see where a turnaround would come from. Which player? How would the system facilitate it? There hasn't been much evidence of such a comeback being possible, and no sign as to which player or players in the current squad could lead one. The play just isn't convincing enough. A poor touch here, and an under-hit pass there summed up a night where the final ball was always lacking. Number 2. Anfield tried. From the moment captain Virgil van Dijk approached the Kop towards the end of the pre-match warm-up, there was that familiar big game feeling around Anfield. The fans were determined to make sure it wasn't the last such occasion of the season, in a campaign in which there has been little to shout about or for. Arne Slot himself was more animated than usual on the touchline, bouncing around his technical area to encourage his players to push up and press in certain moments. This wasn't just a big build-up that faded as the game wore on. If anything, it got more raucous in the second half around the hour mark, and you have to say the atmosphere played a part in the referee almost giving a penalty that wasn't. Anfield tried, the team tried, but they had given themselves too much to do in that disappointing first leg, and it wasn't enough. Number 3. Right decision to drop Salah, leaving one of the greatest players in the club's history on the bench for the biggest game of the season was certainly a bold call from Slot. There was some sense to the thinking behind it. It meant Liverpool had genuine options on the bench, and the use of Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak in the same 11 gave Liverpool something to aim for up top and a potential source of early goals. Despite coming on with some time left in the first half, Salah's impact was really felt in the second. One particular ball over to Milos Kerkez set up one of the best chances of the game. Rio Ngumoha also made an impact, which begs the question whether it would have been better for these players to have more time to try to be the game changers Liverpool were missing on the night. Number 4. Attention turns to the league. The task now is to make sure the club is here again next season, that they are in a position where there is a place in the latter stages of the Champions League at stake. At the moment, that is not guaranteed. Even though the top 5 teams in the Premier League will qualify for next season's competition, it looks like one of Chelsea or Liverpool will miss out and finish 6th. It's a pretty underwhelming end to the season that such a status is still not guaranteed, and that this is the only thing the club is now competing for as we head into May. It's nevertheless important for the future of the club, not least in terms of attracting players and having the Champions League income to provide some of the funds to buy them in the first place. Number 5. Questions of Slot will increase. With this situation in mind, Liverpool out of all competitions and still not guaranteed a place in next season's Champions League, questions around Slot's future and suitability to lead this team will only increase. On a blustery, wet night at Anfield, Liverpool's damp squib of a season petered out. It feels like the team has not been given the best chance of succeeding, whether that's the system used, the decisions on squad rotation, or an apparent inability to maintain a level of intensity seen in previous seasons. On top of that, the football has not been particularly entertaining. There are times when a team loses but you recognise the plan, and can enjoy watching them try to put it into action even if they eventually come up short. But there is no such inspiration or promise to take from this season's displays. Maybe it's a transition year, or the fault of those building the team in the back room, but the best teams are always in transition anyway, so there's no real excuse there. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.